I've been kinda quiet on YouTube, which isn't particularly out of the norm for my channel, but I've been watching Anthem pretty closely in this time. I've been keeping a close eye on the interaction and level of communication the devs are providing. I've tried to get a feel for what the current concerns as well as the excitement levels for the game, and I've looked at what the community has been talking about, and I think the biggest concern is the connection Anthem and Bioware themselves have with EA, and more specifically, the monetization systems that typically come with an EA title. So I wanted to use this video to talk about this, and by the time I'm done, I anticipate that people will call me some sort of EA shill, because like the title states, I aim to answer the question of whether or not EA's presence and how they tend to tackle post-launch monetization will ruin Anthem. And for me, the answer is no. Right out of the gate, I want to say this. Anthem will not have RNG loot boxes. Again, for those in the back, it's been 100% confirmed that Anthem will not have RNG loot boxes. However, this doesn't mean Anthem won't have microtransactions. They simply won't have loot boxes with the gambling mechanics we have seen in a lot of current AAA titles. Anthem will tread a fine line. What we will see is the microtransaction systems that we see in free-to-play games such as Fortnite, Path of Exile, and Warframe, where you go to the shop, you see an item, you want that item, and you buy that item. Which, in my opinion, as someone who spoke out about Destiny 2's Eververse during the first dawning, is the best case scenario. And while I agree using the phrase best case scenario when microtransactions are going to be present isn't truly the best option, because the true best case for Anthem is to not include microtransactions at all, we know that this won't happen, especially with how the gaming industry is as a whole, and this is even more the case with EA playing a huge role in this game. So I guess a better way to say this is Anthem's model is one of the better scenarios that we can ask for if post-launch monetization, quote-unquote, has to be there. I've seen so many people talking about Bioware's, for lack of a better term, recent failure with Mass Effect Andromeda. We've all seen EA's malicious attempts to take advantage of the consumer with the Star Wars Battlefront loot box controversy, as well as EA's poor performance of Battlefield 5. I 100% understand why even I have gotten a few comments that simply stated, EA, no way. To be completely honest, I was in the same boat. Ask any of my close friends 6 months ago what I would say if they suggested an EA title, and they'd all tell you that I would flat out refuse to play or purchase anything that had EA on the box. But like I said earlier, I've been watching the devs as much as I can, and I've watched the community, and I see potential. I can see the light, I can see why people are amped for this game, and I've even found myself convincing myself that this game will be good, but I couldn't quite put it to words. Every time I got excited for the loot systems, the open world, the build potentials, the gameplay, I kept going back to the microtransactions. I kept thinking about EA and what they've done in the past, and for some reason I was okay with it. And then after talking to a couple friends, my friend Morgan, a fellow YouTuber from a channel called Split Screen, who you should definitely check out, so link in the description, but he said exactly what I was thinking best. He said, Anthem aims to be a game of service, so post-launch content is certainly a must to keep players engaged, and in the industry today, a lot of companies are focused on monetizing post-launch as much as possible. We have games like Call of Duty, which charges $60 for their base game and an additional $50+ for the DLC Season Pass. Destiny 1 and 2 both sold for $60 at launch, had a $30 expansion for 2 DLCs post-launch, a $40 fall expansion, a summer expansion for Destiny 1 at $30, and an annual pass for Destiny 2 for $35, promising another year's worth of content, and then we will surely see another $30 or $40 expansion next fall. All of this, regardless of the game, fractures the player base as new content drops and players are cut from progression and new content. With their past few releases, EA has moved away from the season passes and locking DLC behind a paywall, which for the community at large is great, and they're continuing that trend with Anthem, and offering free DLC that expands upon the game world. This keeps all players on the same page as long as they own the base game. Too often, players are cut from their groups and progression, have to play catch up when they finally can afford the new content, and may eventually grow tired of playing due to always being behind on content. With free DLC and totally optional cosmetic-only microtransactions, Anthem may end up being the game that sets itself apart as a diamond in the rough and a good reference point for other companies that choose to monetize after the initial release. That right there was what I was trying to put to words, what I was thinking, but what I couldn't say. When I look at Anthem as a game, I see Diablo, I see The Division, I see Destiny, I see Borderlands, I see Path of Exile, I see Warframe. All games that I love. I see pieces from all of these other titles all packaged together into one package. That's not to say that Anthem will be everything all those games are in one, but instead I see pieces that I like from those games handpicked and put together and a new title called Anthem. All these things that I'm excited for early on were still suppressed by potential for loot boxes, the presence of EA, and the past shortcomings from Bioware. But I decided to look into it more, and what pushed those faults aside was the confirmation of no RNG loot boxes in Anthem. So at the end of the day, to answer the question posed in the title, will EA ruin Anthem with microtransactions? And in my opinion, the answer is no. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. The main point of this video was to let everyone know that RNG loot boxes won't be in the game. Yes, microtransactions will exist in Anthem, and I know that's a problem for some people, but a bigger problem, at least in my eyes, is the RNG loot boxes. But I'm open to hear what you guys think. Regardless, even if you disagree, I appreciate you taking the time to listen to what I had to say. For those of you that either agree or if you simply enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate it. Hit that like button, and if you happen to be new here, consider subscribing. And as always, for those of you that are longtime viewers and even the more recent viewers, thank you for your continued support. But that's all I got for you guys today. So I'm gonna get out of here. Say my name is Matt, and I'll see you guys next time.